Hi everybody, welcome back to the Great Mustard Seed Company. And today we're going to harvest blackberry leaves and red raspberry leaves. And the purpose is I'm going to be using them for tea. So watch as I prune them. I'm going to start with the young, delicate looking ones. These are really fresh and tender. Look at that. Perfect formation. No discoloration, nothing dried or shriveled. The key to harvesting blackberry leaves is to get them without any shriveling. And after you pick them, you want to dry them right away and make sure they're thoroughly dried and then crumble them to make tea. Or you can order them for me because that's what I'm going to be doing. And you don't want to let them sit around once they've been harvested and do nothing, because it's not good to consume them once they get wrinkled and crumpled. So these are some of the blackberry leaves that I harvested to make tea. You can see they're very clean. They don't have any discoloration. They don't have any dried up parts. They're a very good fresh color, and they're the younger leaves. And I also picked beautiful blackberry. The rest of them are still red in color. They haven't ripened yet. So now I'm going to wash them and prepare them for drying. I'm using the shower setting because it gives enough force without tearing the leaves. And whenever you handle blackberry leaves, be very careful because there are still thorns attached, as you can see, all the way up the stem to the leaf and even on the leaf. The leaf itself has some, so I know how to take that off so that that's not in the tea. I want to get off anything that's might be residual in the leaves. Our area is quite clean. We don't really have a big problem with pests. We do have lots of wonderful bees, a lot of pollinating animals, but not too many pests. You know, every once in a while you'll see ants, or but not like aphids or those pesky beetles that eat things up. They don't seem to want to bother us too much. They leave us alone, which is very nice. So I went ahead and washed multiple times these blackberry leaves, and now I'm just going to drain the water into what my children call Mom's basil forest. Because if anybody knows me, anybody knows basil is my most favorite food on earth. I could eat it all day long and nothing else, and I would be just perfectly content. Which is actually a very large part of my diet, is basil, fresh basil. So we're going to now take these and the blackberry over to the towel to dry in the sun, and then we're going to work on red raspberry leaves. Even golden raspberry leaves I'll have as well. Here's our one little blackberry. And you're going to notice a difference between blackberry leaves and red raspberry leaves, which is significant. So if you're trying to distinguish between them, you'll see that the blackberry leaves are green on the back and a good strong green on the front. And when I take you over to the raspberry leaves, you'll see the difference in color and a little bit difference in shape as well. In the beginning, a lot of people can't tell the difference except by looking at the fruit, and once they pay attention to the leaves, then they understand the differences beside just by looking at the fruit. Hey, we're going to go over now to the red raspberry bushes, or brambles I really call them, and start to pay attention to the way that they look. So again, we want leaves that are uniform, that are neat looking, that are fresh looking, and not dried or crumpled. I like these young ones right here. I'm going to clip those. You're going to see the difference now. Remember I showed you the blackberry leaves? Well, here you see more deep veins, especially on the young ones, but look at the backs of the raspberry leaves. They are a silverish white color. I'm not sure how well you can see it because the sun is shining directly on us, but you'll start to see the differences pretty quickly as you pay attention. We have red raspberries and golden raspberries in this area. And raspberries where we live and blackberries grow so prolifically, there is no shortage at any time anywhere. They are in the wild, and also there are many cultivated varieties. Look at this. This is a really unique leaf. Look how this one's shaped. Okay, so we have this dips down and then curves up, and then here it comes in, and there's no damage. This is not an injured leaf or a wounded leaf. Anyway, that's just how it is. I find that very interesting. And look at the back of it. It's kind of a silverish white color, almost like a pale grayish white. Not much of a sheen to be silver, but it's kind of on that color scheme. Hello. We're going to start washing the red raspberry leaves now, and some fresh red raspberries. Now this is not all we have. If you had been out with us about a couple of hours ago, we had a big bowl full that we brought in. I always want to use a power wash, but not one that's so harsh that it tears the leaves. So again, I use the shower setting. Let's put these in there too. And here we have a little spider. Look at that guy. See that? That's pretty normal. We are outdoors after all. And if you want to pay attention also, if you are to be picking raspberry leaves, that although they're not as harshly thorny as the blackberry leaves, they still have thorns nonetheless. They're just smaller. So I'm not sure if you can see these, but I can sure feel them. But the blackberry leaves, you know, the whole plants are very, very harsh. So the canes are much thicker and the thorns are much larger. So in most cases, gloves, very, very hardy gloves, have to be worn in order to avoid direct impact injuries, because we've had more than our share of blackberry thorn pokes. Here's another little spider. I'm going to get him out. See that guy? Here he is. Going to go on his merry way. Somewhere else, not in my raspberry tea. I'm going to just drain this here and run fresh water. As you can see, there's no actual dirt. I just really look for anything like little spiders, which we just found. Oh, the raspberries are starting to get too soggy and falling apart. A little bit more power washing. This is an old container that I bring for quick outdoor collecting. It's very useful for that. It's still useful for storing things, but I find it a convenient size when I'm not getting a massive quantity of things at one particular time. So I use it for my smaller harvests. Let's see what we have here. Not sure if that's a spider. No, it looks like it's a portion of a plant. It's a little small spot. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take this over to, I'll take it to the peppers. We have some peppers growing. go around the corn and squash to one of our pepper beds. This is in a box, as you can see, a raised bed. Don't want to lose that precious berry that's left. Just let everything go in there. We've been enjoying some delicious Anaheim peppers from this. We also have purslane growing in here with the peppers, as you can see right over here. And purslane is something that everybody pulls up or sprays some kind of horrific chemical on it to get rid of it, thinking that it's a pesky weed, although it can take over. It's not something I really mind when it takes over because it's a highly nutritious vegetable. And it's loaded with omega-3 fat. Very good for the eyes and the brain and the skin. Just everything. Can't hurt you. Good for the heart too. Now I'm going to put the red raspberry leaves on towels in direct sunlight and go ahead and begin the drying process. I don't use any fancy machines, gadgets of any sort. I keep things as simply as I can. And this way it's less cleanup later. Because I have such a large volume of work to do, I actually find machines and tools more cumbersome than helpful. So a pair of scissors, a knife, measuring cups and tablespoons and teaspoons, that's pretty fancy. That's all I need. Put the berries right here. Like I said earlier today, we harvested a whole bowl full, and every day we get probably 2 or 3 bowls full, about this amount. And I'm going to take you right now to take a tour of around the blackberries, the red and golden raspberries, and you're going to see aronia berries and even a new gooseberry plant. So in this area you see the blackberries like where we started. And look at the underside, not a silvery color, just green color. And notice the very, very coarse canes, very, very sharp, razor sharp, pinpoint sharp thorns. So this is all blackberry area, and you can see where I harvested a lot of the leaves already. You see some right here, which are waiting to develop. We have a lot of canes reaching 7 feet, oftentimes. And we'll just see how the season goes, because that's where they are right now. Some of them are already at 7 feet, and we're only in July. Now we are coming to the red and golden raspberry area. We have more red raspberries and golden raspberries, but we still have a few golden raspberry plants. And of course they drop their seeds and they make new ones, so that it keeps growing each season. Each new growing season, I should say. And you want to look at the leaves again. You can tell that these are raspberry leaves because they have that pale color on the bottom, kind of a whitish gray. So we just left the red and golden raspberry area. Now we're back on the other side to the blackberry area. Here's a nice young cluster that is just loaded with nutrition right there. You can see some more blackberries forming down there. Pull this guy off. There we have it. More blackberries. They just seem to produce more and more each year. And I cut them low, almost to the ground in the spring, and they come back even greater. And you see right here, we even have black walnut trees. And we're going to have to remove these because they're growing right up against the house, and that's not a good idea to be near a foundation. So we'll have to remove these, but these are prolific in our area too. Okay, this is a wild gooseberry bush. This is really nice. We had grown gooseberries for many years at another home we had, and they produced a beautiful tart berry. Started off as a pale green color, then eventually turned to a deep rose color. So this is new to us. So we don't have any fruit this year, but I'm expecting by next year we should have something. These are the Viking aronia berries. We have 6 plants of these so far. And you see these, this is a newer plant. And you're gonna see one that's been with us for a while. And you'll see that the berries are already almost ready to be picked. This is one of the new young ones. And now, look at the difference. That one there was from this year, this is from last year. You're gonna see the nice deep purple berries. And they're gonna get so dark that they'll be almost black in color. This is one of our Viking aronia berry plants that we bought last year as well. And it's producing really nice berries. And even last year when it was new to us and just a baby plant, it grew very, very fast and produced a lot of delicious and high antioxidant berries. And they're really high in anthocyanins. So all of these are great. They're great for the health, they're great for the heart. They're very good to clean out toxins from the body. And we appreciate them because God makes them. And that's why they're good for us. Have a young cranberry bush. This is a dwarf cranberry bush. So it's still going to produce fruit for us, just maybe not as much as a standard size, but it's something good for us to grow in this small area where I put it. This is our second dwarf cranberry bush, so we are looking forward to the fruit once it starts producing fruit. As you can see, it's really healthy. So it has a good strong green color with a slight yellowish tinge, and it has yellow veins, and you can see here a reddish purple color directly beneath the leaf as part of the stem that goes to the main stem, which is a yellowish green. It's a gorgeous bush just for ornamental sake, but it is food bearing, so we're looking forward to that as well. Now we're at one of our mulberry trees. We have 3 large ones. And you can see we have these gorgeous mulberries here. And we cannot wait to eat them. We have some here and here. We had picked some earlier that were jet black, and I tell you what, they were so sweet and juicy. And again, loaded with anthocyanins and antioxidants, all good stuff for the human body. Good for birds too, because the birds sure like them. We let them have the ones way up on top that are impossible for us to reach, and then we get about the bottom half of the tree for ourselves. And here are some that are not ripe yet, and this is what they look like before they're mature enough to eat. You can see some here, and then here's one that is ready for plucking. Oh, isn't he a pretty one? Wow, that's nice. Here, I'm going to give it to my cameraman. Good job, buddy. And then let's see what we have over here. Yes, we have another one. Nice up high here. Right up there. Beautiful mulberry. Yep. Now that one's going to be for me. And everybody else comes out all the time, all through the day, and they pick for themselves as much as they want. There's no limit on mulberries. So here's one of the trees. Here's another one. Now that tree, when everything's fully mature, the berries turn very, very dark, almost a black color. These can be eaten even when they're still pale, but not knotty and hard. They have to be soft and juicy. So right here, we're getting close to it. You'll see here, they're a pale, kind of like a lilac color, but they're juicy enough to eat. They're not toxic or anything like this. That is good stuff. And we have a few more. I do let them get a little bit darker than this, but even like this, they are sweeter than sugar. Oh, look at that, a big black ant. He dropped out of the tree and landed in my bowl. This is one of our other mulberry trees, and as you can see by the looks of these berries, that also when these ripen, they turn a really dark color. We eat them when they're about like a deep red up to black color. And my kiddos have a lot of fun climbing the trees with me and gathering what we can. We only have a couple of months in the spring and summer to get them, so we take advantage while we have the season. Okay, I'm going to gather up the leaves that were picked for tea, so that we have red raspberry leaves and blackberry leaves. And I'm going to take them in now because we're getting into evening. And I'm going to put them in an area where when the sun comes up, it's going to hit them right away. Then I'm going to bring them back out in the morning in the sunshine. You all have a wonderful day, and God bless you.